the Edinburgh Fringe Festival started forever and ever and ever and ever ago. Century plus, I want to say.
Yeah.
And it's now spread out like herpes or the Kardashians to other cities. And the people at the Comedy Clubhouse BCN have actually run the gamut since last year, and they've popped it off. And this year was 300 performers, 200 venues, tons of stuff going on. And last weekend, I was doing that, but I also had a date. So I didn't really do anything for Halloween. But HIV is scary, so let's talk about it.
Holy shit, yeah.
So
that took a turn.
Yeah, very dark.
I like
segue.
to do that.
Yes.
So we're going to turn over here.
Wrap it up,
Listen
folks.
up, kids. Wrap it up, because you never know. And I met someone on the street, and something happened months ago in a parking lot, like Madonna and Body of Evidence. And
Sorry.
I was wrapped up, don't worry.
Okay.
So we were finally meeting up again for a second meetup and a date that was going to involve, what is it called? Adult consent situations. And as it was getting hot and heavy, as you do when you come from certain cities, I asked him how his health status was. And he said he was great. And he was fine. And I said, because I'm, negative and healthy and clean, got a full back, and show you the blood report from September. And he says, well, I'm undetectable. And I am in the middle. I mean, I have him splayed out in front of me.
As he says this.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And
That's a boner
we've
killer.
already done the deed, but, wrapped up in a parking lot that nobody could, it was probably filmed.
Right. With the
It was probably filmed. So when I run for mayor, we won't talk about this.
Well, TikTok, let us know.
If you've already seen it.
If you raw dog, or you raw dog, you wrap it up. Let us know.
Oh, please wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
I must wrap it up.
Jesus.
Wrap it up.
Don't trust the prep shit. And so, but it really, because of, in the situation that I lived when I first was starting to mess with men, it really brought that back up, and I had to go, and it really saddened me.
Yeah, you shot over right to the doctor.
But then the comedian I had gone to see that night called me up and ended up coming over, and something else happened, and it was great. And I won't name them, but shout out.
Like, you know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think
So
the
it's a
lesson
very
is
Halloween.
wrap
Very
it up.
successful Halloween,
Right,
Yeah.
wrap it up.
It was nice.
If you're unsure, get your ass right to that doctor, get that free health care. And, that's not even your strangest hookup in the past month, actually. I feel like maybe something else happened that we didn't talk about the last time, where you try to convert somebody out of their horrible beliefs. But we can save that for another time.
Well, no, it was just the other situation I had. I thought we had talked about it.
Did we talk about it on air?
No, we didn't.
I think we talked about it off air.
Yeah.
It was just, the two situations of dates I'd had the month before were both straight men. One of them who was a MAGA, so hardcore MAGA supporter from Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
And the other one was 30 plus years married, who's been sleeping with men since he was a teenager. So why am I going to stop now when I'm almost 60? And my wife doesn't know anything, and it was very revealing.
They wait to tell you this stuff until after. Or just
in the middle of the two dates, both of them.
Oh, right. Yeah. Middle, like very
I'm
middle.
straight, though. I'm straight. What?
You don't look very straight.
And I went and pounded the shit out of the MAGA man, just so everybody knows.
This is
he
great.
loved it.
Every bit of it, huh? Every bit of it. Yeah, I'm sure they do, because a lot of this anger and hatred comes from repression. Like a lot of this, like, I hate these people, we have to put our boots on these people, comes from repressing something inside.
And then they go and suck a big old black dick.
Well, yeah. A lot of that is like when they see a drag performer, they go, oh, they're very angry with a tent.
Why are they so beautiful?
Yeah, pitching a tent in their stands. And I think that's fucking pretty crazy, man. I think it's
common.
I think it's crazy that people can be so outwardly hostile and have something internally inside of them. Like, I think that's what's crazy about it.
I just think the fact that the Grindr app crashes
every Republican national convention.
Yeah,
or Charlie Kirk Memorial.
Sorry,
but yeah.
I've just the Charlie Kirk Memorial.
It crashed there too. In the middle of the memorial.
Is it interesting that is an interesting time to
it's
choose.
just that in male sexuality, which I think is fascinating, the final frontier is always going to be gay sex for men. That is the final frontier.
Have you heard about the Groiper
Of
kind
course.
of valence on this?
Yeah.
I did
No,
not
what are you
know
talking
this. This
about?
is
And the
fascinating. So, like
femboys.
the whole Nick Fuentes arm of the alt right, their thing is they preach extreme homophobia, right? They hate gay people,
Nick Fuentes
you know.
is gay and Mexican.
but then they
Exactly.
these guys all get together and they're all fucking each other, and it's
But it's not gay.
it's a
because
dominance thing.
Yeah.
So like they don't
In the Groiper circles?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
They're
they
having
don't acknowledge
man-on-man
that they
action.
are gay.
Yeah, it's not gay because it's just a show of dominance.
Well, like prison, what other choice do you have? There's there's a technicality there.
Well,
but
I think
these guys just go to their hate rallies.
Yeah, some of
and
these
bang each other.
hate rally guys don't have a lot of choice either. But this is they don't acknowledge that this is something you are into. Like they are, they're like, oh no, they.
Well,
you know,
it's
Why not just be who you are and not hate it or people?
That is the story of
Why?
that is the story of every bisexual woman who is with a group of her friends and says
Somewhere you shouldn't be.
and says it's normal to be attracted to other attractive women, right? And then all of their friends look at them and go, "Hey, guess what?
Yeah, you're bi.
It's
You
not.
didn't know this.
You're actually 90% of the bisexual people that I know. That is how they realized they
learned
were.
they were bi.
It's just the worst way to like. I just can't imagine like I've always loved women. I've always been a heterosexual. I love when my wife and I are.
She makes fun of me because
intimate.
I am painfully straight. I'm
Painfully
boringly straight.
right.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine like I'm going to hate
Tragically straight.
I'm going to hate other straight people. Like
Yeah,
my head
it
can't wrap around it.
makes-
Like I'm going to outwardly attack what I actually am. I can't really wrap my head around that.
Well,
I feel terrible. But they're also, if they weren't so horrible and destructive and bigoted, I would feel for that kind of.
Well,
I
but
think
that's-
it's so please.
Oh,
it's-
sorry. Go for
No,
it.
I wonder if you've conditioned your life to fake it since you were little.
Yeah.
It is so easy to then adopt that because specifically more for men, I think it's more of a condition where you don't do this, you don't speak like that, you don't lift that finger, you don't. It's a condition. You're consistently from the time you're a child, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, conditioned to be something that you're not fully.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and that's
And
that
then don't
was,
you show those emotions?
Yeah.
Boys don't cry.
And that was what I was gonna say. It's the internalized shame.
So you just
It's
learn to fake it
society's-
all
yeah.
your life. And I think the majority, and I don't mean plural, the majority of people do that their entire lives. Mostly men.
Yeah, in different circumstances.
course.
Yeah.
Not
We have
just sex,
internalized racism,
but
internalized
completely.
misogyny, internalized
Right.
yeah, homophobia. It's all
I mean, if you're going to believe that a 14-year-old Jewish virgin, I'm going to go back to that shit.
Yeah.
And, a Jew, that they love the Jews that they worship.
Yeah, the radical right. Not a big fan.
Don't forget you're praying to a Jew. And it's full on real.
so
And
my comment
Jesus
to that
broke
is always
Mary's hymen.
wildly inappropriate.
Yeah. Well, he's right that like virgin birth is a little bit of a bridge too far for some people. Others it isn't. It
Oh,
depends on
gosh.
your level of faith. But you're right. I mean, I'm not there.
The other
I think
thing
that's
is-
not necessarily at all the situation. But I get it because it speaks to the internal repression. Like it speaks to the internal
It starts
belief systems
immediately
of
out
Yeah.
of the womb.
hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can believe this. I can this and not believe it's toxic. I cannot believe it's self-destructive or toxic.
I
I
also
think
believe
that's
it's
wrong.
evidenced more for men, and we can look at the state of the
sure.
world,
Yeah.
and there's the evidence.
Well,
and I
think
do
about
think it
how
is-
we portray the homosexual relationships in media. It is perfectly normalized, right, to have two women engaged in some sort of romantic thing, right?
Yeah, people love that.
It's sexualized, it's fetishized, it's completely normal in media. But the way we portray a sexual relationship between two men in media, there's always an aspect of shame, or it's the tragic story.
Or
Right?
annoying comedy like
Yeah.
Right.
Will and Grace.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
And
Yeah.
so we there is a different you ask a guy, right, a straight guy who every single straight man I've ever dated says the thing they always want to try is a threesome. And every single time it's no, two women. A woman and a man would be weird, right? But two women,
This is pretty common. Yeah.
dating a man who is dating a straight woman, saying, "I want you to go outside of your sexuality because I can fetishize two women together," and it's normal. You can just experiment with another woman under that safe context with a man there, right? Like it's normalized,
Okay.
but we don't do that the other way around.
Usually, not usually, but very, very often, the first sexual experience that people have is with members of their same sex. Very often. And it's rarely mentioned or acknowledged between young boys.
You're like developing
But-
kids, fooling
Well,
around.
jerking each other off, circle
that kind of
jerks, and
stuff
sucking
happens.
off. It
I can't
happens.
experience.
You know,
I
there's
can't.
a way
I
to
can't
put it.
speak to the male experience. I can't.
But does it happen
I
with
can't.
girls?
It
That's
does.
why. Yeah.
It
Well, like a
does.
little slumber party or something. You
Yeah.
like you pretend you play like Ouija board and you kiss.
But again, slumber parties is something that we fetishize in the media. You see it on. They make
I guess
jokes
I
about it
kinda
on
did that,
TV.
didn't I?
They make right. It's a trope, right? It's a rite of passage that we show
Well, that's
about
so tricky.
teenage
I mean,
girls in the movies and on the media, right? Girls have
I see
slumber
them more
parties
as
in
for
their
horror
underwear
things, not
with.
for
Yeah.
sexuality.
But women are always the girls are always in their underwear, and it's the pillow fight, and there's this like subtle inherent sexualization to it, which is
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
Right.
Something like a young boy doing that kind of experimentation, if they're showing that in the media, the sense around that is going to be shame.
Do boys,
Right?
do they have slumber parties anymore?
I mean, you have you watch professional wrestling pay-per-view,
Yeah.
and you beat the hell out of each other,
Yeah.
and then some kids, you're right, suck each other off. Like that definitely has happened. But I'm sorry, Ben, we cut you off there before.
Well, no. I was just going to say. I mean, from a writing perspective, it is very tricky because on the one hand, you want to depict things that are real, and so, a gay couple is going to have had real trauma in their lives,
Yeah.
both, and so. But if you only tell the story of trauma, right, then you end up not in the individual case, but in the kind of gestalt, creating a sense that this is the only part of the
Yeah.
male gay life experience
Oh, sure.
is trauma.
Yeah.
And the same thing with lesbian relationships, there is a sexual element, but if that's the only part of it that you tell, then you end up fetishizing,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, I am sensitive to the fact that from a writer's perspective, they're saying, this is something I actually experienced. This is a part of my life. This is something I want to share. That's fine. It's just that if the kind of industry says that's the only part of the business, that's the only part of life that we will show, because anything else gets uncomfortable and we don't think the audience will like it or whatever, that's where you end up with that kind of soft censoring that then creates this really unnatural sense that this is the only way to be gay in the world.
What was the term from
I
Jess
love
and
this.
Marie?
Yeah,
'Cause it's
some
never
of the
that.
writers, they said ambient queerness.
Yeah, it's never that.
We can
Right?
just have queer characters who are living normal lives.
Yeah.
Right,
and
like
that's
going to
just
Costco.
part of
Yeah.
their lives.
Like,
yeah.
Right?
having a
There has to
housewarming
be-
party.
It's kind of the queer
Yeah.
version of the Bechdel test. Like,
Yeah.
can we have characters who are queer where that's not the thing that is the plot point?
What is
Yeah.
the
Right.
Bechdel test?
The Bechdel test is this idea, and this came from this woman who is a comedian. It was as a joke, and
Yeah.
it has become a thing that is very real in the industry, this recognition. She pointed out that it's hard to find women in movies who are not speaking about men.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so,
yeah.
is there a scene in the film where two women have a
women,
conversation
yeah.
about something other than
Yeah.
The
men
male
in
protagonist.
and
shit.
you can use this as a kind of a litmus test and see, is this film written by a woman?
Yeah.
Right.
Were women involved in the production in such a way that they had any power? Because if it's
no.
all men, the men don't even notice.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there are women here, but the women are all in reference to
Yeah.
the men.
Side
Now there are
players.
certainly exceptions. There was a movie with Sandra Bullock where she's in space. And the
Gravity.
only person she can speak to is
Clooney.
is George Clooney
Yeah.
back on Earth. That film doesn't follow the Bechdel test, but nobody would say, "Oh, therefore it's an inherently chauvinistic film." She's on
But
screen the
I
entire
love
time.
the joke around that with
Lord of the Rings?
Sandra Bullock.
Oh my God.
Sandra Bullock floated off into space to get away from George Clooney,
Nice.
which the two are actually like it's this, you know.
I'd recommend that to anyone, by the way.
Or no, George Clooney floats off into space to avoid staying with one woman
Yes.
before he got
With
married,
any one woman,
right?
yes.
Which I
But
find
no,
I
it's
find
with a woman
Was
hilarious.
that also a
With
gay
the woman his
reference to
age.
him?
With a woman
Yes.
his age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Not a
which
huge
which
fan.
I find.
I did Clooney to some aspect, but
I
as an
did
actor,
Clooney until about a year ago. But
Oh,
anyway,
right,
that's my
yeah.
own personal opinion. But I think to circle it back, Hollywood fucking sucks though in that type
Yeah.
of thing. They either they do everything wrong every which way, it seems.
Yeah.
They fuck up and reinforce gender and racial stereotypes, and then they go in complete opposite, ridiculous. Ivory tower overcorrection spaces
Yeah.
and think they're doing something else, and then it's all like everybody's mad.
Yeah.
Well, and it was, I can speak to the way this manifests in the publishing industry, which is very similar. If you're a big studio, if you are one of the big 5 publishing houses, your concern is always, how are we going to keep the fucking lights on?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they've
yeah,
got,
sure.
they've, and so they're always going for, what is the safe bet?
Yeah.
Right? And so Hollywood goes, when in doubt, make, part 7
Yeah.
of this series because we know it'll make money.
Yeah.
And don't do anything that is scary, that is going to be actually making telling a new story in a new way.
Yeah.
Because that might not make money and we got to keep the shareholders happy.
Yeah.
And so, if you want to see anything that is being done in a different way, you've got to find a small press. You've got to find, somebody doing independent cinema.
Yeah.
Somebody
And
who's
there are
not saying
some
we need to make $200 million back because we've
Yeah.
invested $200
Or
million
independent
in this.
publishers like yourselves
Yeah.
who work different perspectives into your books.
Yeah.
Small presses. I mean, that's the way.
And there are some movies, there are some production companies that do that make a point of doing that. I mean,
European
cinema.
A23,
Yeah,
A24,
A24. A24.
Yeah,
They're doing wild
is-
stuff, and
yeah.
it doesn't all work.
Yeah.
And that's okay because they've
Yeah.
developed a following of people who are saying it's A24. I'm going to go to them because they do stuff that is challenging and experimental.
The way
who's the-
Miramax used
Now,
to
but
be.
is it okay for my sensitive straight white guy
Fuck you,
feeling?
Harvey.
Right, that's
Is
the
that
thing.
going to make
like,
me
yeah.
feel
Right.
okay? when
I
do it?
loved what was the one that was the Green Knight, and you hated
Oh,
the Green
no.
Knight.
So
it,
bad. So bad.
It was challenging. It was doing
who's the guy
different
that
things.
did Get Out? Why am
Oh
I?
yeah. What is his name?
Why am I blanking?
Jordan Peele?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where he's doing really radical
Yeah.
new things.
I need
with
to see
film.
that
I
for
just
my
want
wife
him
is
to come
afraid.
out the closet.
My wife is
I
terrified
mean,
to watch
do
scary
you want him to
movies.
come out of the
Child.
closet, or do you want him to come out of the closet?
No, I just
Okay.
want him to come out the
Okay,
closet.
yeah.
Not my type.
Yeah.
But child, please.
He wants it to be true, and he's materializing.
Yes.
No,
See, and there
No,
are
it's
some
just,
I
come
have.
on.
I have
Come
there
on,
are
man.
there are some actresses that I'm just like I'm waiting for the day that they admit to everybody else.
Like you knew when Bella was her first movie, and
When Kristen Stewart came out,
come on,
100%.
Like,
Yeah, I feel like
and
I
Taylor
feel like
Lautner
we saw
and Taylor Lautner too.
we saw Kristen Stewart. I feel like a certain amount of us saw where Kristen Stewart was heading.
Wait a minute, Kristen Stewart is non-binary,
Not
gay,
not straight.
Oh,
No.
I mean, I don't know how to say
I
words.
don't know. I don't know. I know she's currently with a woman. I don't know if she is identifying as bisexual or lesbian. I can't. But there was a moment when we saw Sophia Bush. I saw that coming and fucking cheered, like absolutely fucking cheered. And she is now married to a woman.
Oh.
And I
God, I don't know anything about
welcome
that.
to the club. I am so sorry you are married. I'm not going to apologize for that. Sorry, Ben. But there are a few more that I'm just
Says
like,
that
I'm
white
waiting
people are
for.
white
I'm
guys
like,
are the
please, Kelly
Name
Clarkson is
one.
one.
Oh,
Kelly
Kelly
Clarkson.
Clarkson.
She knows what she did with the wink. And anybody who's watching this that saw that episode,
winking
if
at
you
who?
haven't watched the karaoke version
No
yet,
fucking clue.
She's singing a song, and she makes reference to, I like my girls a little bit older, and then she winks at the camera, and, a million melted.
bisexual and straight women
what?
dropped to their knees at that moment.
Who do you think she's talking about?
She's singing a cover of a song.
Right, but who is she talking
But
about?
Yeah,
she says nobody. She says that she drops a wink in every time she performs, and it just happened to be at that, and there was the whole thing. But come on, Kelly.
Well,
Maybe
that
we
could be
know.
interesting.
We know. I'm waiting for the day that she joins the club because
Well, like I always thought Sarah McLachlan was
Yeah.
yeah.
right, but
presumed.
now it's Annie DeFranco.
Alanis
And,
Morissette is one that it wouldn't surprise me.
See, I think she likes dick.
No,
I think she's a
see,
badass.
She
I-
wrote that whole
I
damn
think it
song
looks
about
great.
Yeah, I
Bouye.
think,
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, I'm sure she's had her sapphic moments.
Yeah.
But I think Alanis likes penis.
Drew Barrymore is another one. I watched
I
her
knew
show, and I'm
any of
waiting
this.
for the I'm waiting for the realization.
I think you're gonna be always waiting.